And here to break down Arizona State's season opener is Hode Rubino of Devil's Digest. Hode, let's start with Jaden Daniels' debut as a Sun Devil. 15 of 24 passing, 284 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown on top of it. 2 things that stood out for me was, one, he took care of the football. There were no turnovers, which is of utmost importance. And then the other one was just how calm, cool, collected he was, even under duress. We'll get to the offensive line situation in a minute, but he was calm the whole time. What stood out to you about Jaden Daniels?
Yeah, I think you really hit the nail on the head, because really since spring practice all the way through the preseason and obviously last Thursday night, we've seen a cool, calm, and composed Jaden Daniels. He was really playing like a fifth-year senior at times, really stepping in the pocket when he was supposed to, staying in the pocket as long as he could. And like you said, sometimes the defensive line did not make it that easy. But I just feel that his character, his mental component is so strong that everything else is just really a positive domino effect from there on. May have surprised some people, but you and I that have seen him in the preseason for so long, it really was just another day in the office for the true freshman.
Absolutely, but I was surprised at how often he was running for his life. Now, we heard just before the game their starting center went down with a broken foot on Sunday. So in comes a true freshman in Donovan West. ASU's O-line was supposed to be a strength. Moving forward, how much is this going to impact the team?
It's really going to be interesting to see, because Kate Cote, the starting center, like you said, just 4 days before the season opener, breaks his foot. He's probably going to be out for a good 5-6 games. So that really puts a lot of onus on Dave Christensen, the offensive line coach, to get this group cohesive as much as possible. And having the center be your true freshman, the leader of this offensive line, that is quite a task that I don't know if Dave Christensen or a lot of coaches around America have really had to face.
Let's talk some defense. Talking to defensive coordinator Danny Gonzalez after the game, he wasn't very happy that Kent was able to score a touchdown. ASU held them to 200 yards of total offense. He felt it should have been 100 yards of total offense. But I felt that there were spurts of greatness on the defensive side. What stood out to you?
Well, first of all, the caveat, Danny Gonzalez is hard to please. And you know what? That's not a bad thing in Tempe. We're just removed 3-4 years from having Arizona State be one of the worst defenses in college football, and that's not being hyperbolic at all. I think that the ASU defense did quite okay. One thing that Danny Gonzalez did say that I thought was interesting, if not somewhat concerning, is that he thought that the fatigue of his defense was probably at a higher level than he expected. The caveat over there is that the fatigue was exhibited more by a lot of first-year players.
Herm Edwards also mentioned the fatigue. He said it might have also had something to do with just the excitement of the beginning of the season, a lot of young guys, and then also maybe the heat as well. But that was something that was definitely a concern for both Herm Edwards and Danny Gonzalez. All right, let's look ahead. Sacramento State on Friday, and they're coming off an enormously lopsided win, 77 points. They scored 11 touchdowns in their season opener, both school records. What would you like to see between now and that game before they hit the road to Michigan State?
The team really needs to really treat this as a Pac-12 opponent, and I'm not saying they overlooked Kent State, but they realize they have a lot of things to fix. And you mentioned the offensive line, and I don't mean to harp on it too much, but I think that if that unit will be established in week 2, then everything else will really fall in place. And let's not forget that Sacramento State hung 77 points on an NAIA team, which is basically equivalent of a junior college, and some will say maybe a good 6A team in the state of Arizona. So we have to put that in perspective.
77 points, though, regardless of the opponent, is enough to give any team momentum heading into their next game. But Hode, I appreciate your time. Once again, ASU taking on Sacramento State on Friday.